Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel SkillSnap. Today I'm here with another interesting video. We have learned till data types in Python playlist, and now today we are here with operators, and I will teach you what all operations can be performed and what are different operators in Python. So basically, operators are nothing but they are like symbols. Okay, so what these symbols do? Like in mathematics, we have learned about plus, minus, multiplication, and division, such type of symbols. And if there's an addition, so it will add two numbers, it will provide you the sum of the two numbers. Similarly, in Python also we have few operators. So these operators are symbols, and these symbols perform few operations, and the numbers on which the operations are performed are known as operands. So, since we have got a clarity about what is operators, operations, and operands, let's just dive into what are the different type of operators in Python. The first type of operator is arithmetic operator. If you can see, arithmetic operators are the simplest operators ever. You just have like six or to seven symbols. So firstly it comes with the addition symbol. So addition, it is represented by plus. What will the addition do? You give two numbers, it will provide you the sum of two numbers. Similarly, subtraction. So all of these symbols we have already learned in our mathematics. There's nothing much new. Just we will see how they will be implemented in Python. So first is the addition operation, next is the subtraction operation, multiplication, division, and there is this floor division also. Floor division, what happens is, so basically when you do a normal division, you will be getting the output, like if you divide 10 by 3, you will be getting like 3.333, right? So this floor division, what it will do is it will round off the answer to either the before one or the after one. For example, if you're getting 3.33, it will round off to 3. If you're getting 2.25, it will round off to 2. So it will give you the rounded answer, it will not give you the decimal points answer. Similarly, you can also perform an operation called modulus. Modulus, what it will do is it will provide you the remainder. For example, I'm dividing 10 by 2. If I'm dividing 10 by 2, I will get the remainder as 0. If I'm dividing 10 by 3, I will get the remainder as 1. As you can see in the example, 10 percentile 3 is 1. So this modulus is represented by the percentile operator. And exponentation. So this is basically, you can say it as power. So you are generally writing it as 2 power 3. So this is how it is represented in Python. Two stars if you are giving, it will become as 2 power 3. That is nothing but 2 cube. That is 2 into 2 into 2. So you will get answer as 8. Let's not just learn for the theory, but yeah, we'll do this right now. And let's take two numbers. For instance, let's take a as 10 and b as 3 maybe, and let's print all, like we'll try all of the operations. So if I'm printing a plus, sorry, if I'm printing a plus b, that 10 plus 3 should give me 13 as answer, and then print of a minus b. So if I'm doing a minus b, 10 minus 3, so that has to give me 7 as answer, and then print of a into b. So this is going to do multiplication. What would multiplication give? That would give me 10 into 3, which is 30 as answer, and print of a divided by b. So this is, you have to get 10 divided by 3, which has to give me somewhere around 3.33, and print off. And you can do a modulus also, like it will give me the remainder. So for modulus we are going to use the percentage symbol, a percentile b. If I'm going to use 10 divided by 3 would give me a quotient of 3 and a remainder of 1. So 10 by 3 should give me answer as 1, because 1 is the remainder of that. And then print off a and a exponential b. So I already discussed, let's 10 power 3. It will become 10 into 10 into 10. So that will give you 1000. And did we leave anything? Um, yeah. Yes, we have left the floor division. Let's do that also. Print of a divided and b, so it will round off to one number and give, so that is 10 divided by 3. It has to provide me answer as 3. So let's try running this, and we will find out whether what we have done is correct or not. See, operators are really very simple. Okay, sorry. Fine. Mm, oh my god. Okay. This entire line is commenting out. So I did a syntax error. Let's just move it to another line. And similarly, also this. Okay. Now I have commented it out. See, comments help you a lot. At the same time, you have to see the syntax also. And let's see. We were adding up two numbers that was giving 13 for us. Yes, 7 is also matching with 7. A into B is 30, matching with 30. And A by B, that is division we are doing, that's 3.33. It's matching with this 3.33. And next, which I told the reminder, it will give it as 1. Yes, it is giving it as 1. And if you see, there is 1000 also, and because that is a exponent b, that is a power b. And the last one is we did the floor division, so that is providing the answer as 3. So yeah, this is how arithmetic operators work. Let's switch to the next one. So I have also provided examples. At the end of the playlist, I would be providing this document as well. I mean, this is in Google Colab. I will surely provide the link for it so that you can have the theory and the practicals in one thing, and it is very easy to revise also. Um, Next comes the comparison operator. See, in maths, what all comparison of operators we have? We have only three operators. Whether the number is greater than the other number, or whether the number is lesser than the other number, or whether the number is equal to the other number. Similarly, in Python, we have six operators. So we are just going to play around those three operators only. First thing, what I told, whether the number is greater than other number. So that is there. Yeah, so one is greater than, one is less than, and one is equal to. So three things we already know. Three more things we have to learn in relational operators. The same three things we are just putting an equal to sign beside that and making three other operators. If you can see, not equal to. So the number can be equal to other number, like 5 is equal to 5, and the number is not equal to the other number. If you are representing a not equal to, it has to have an exclamation mark, and along with that, it should have an equal symbol. Okay, and the next one is greater than, which we know 5 is greater than 3, and then the next is less than, that is 5 is less than 3, and one more thing, it is greater than or equal to. So there can be a possibility that 5 is greater than or equal to 5, so like that. And last one is less than or equal to. So these are very simple, and they will be returning, like if you're going to provide, let's say x equal to 10, and you're providing y equal to 5. So if you're taking this as an example, and if I say x is greater than 5, so here x is 10 and y is 5. Obviously 10 is greater than 5. So the output which I will get is as true, because they are 10 is greater than 5. That is a truth. So I will be getting the output as true. Similarly, if I write x is less than 5, then I would be getting an output as false, because 10 is not less than 5. If you can see down, there is print of x equal to y. Yes, if you're going to give x equal to y, it will obviously provide false. Why? 10 is not equal to 5. That is why it will provide false. So when you are using these relational or comparison operators, it will provide you with the boolean values. It will return you true or false. Um, let's take two numbers and we will try these relational operators as well. Um, let's take a as 50 and b as 100. Okay, we will use all of the six operators. The first one which we learned is a equal to b. So one more thing, you might say equal symbol is only like 5 equal to 5. No, like in mathematics and other things we just write 5 equal to 5 or a equal to 5, something like that. You know what happens in Python? If you are writing a equal to b, that is not an operator. That I mean, that is an operator, but that is not a relational operator. You are not comparing it. When you are writing a equal to b, the b value which is there, that will come and sit in a. So you are copying the b value to a if you are writing a equal to b. But if you want to compare both values a and b, then you have to write it as a equal to b. That time it will act as an equal operator, and it will work in such way. Otherwise, if you are writing a equal to b, whatever b value is there, that will come into a. Next thing we learned is a less than b. Yes. Next, a greater than b. Let's try printing for all of them. A greater than or equal to b, and a less than or equal to b, and also a not equal to b. Now, if you see, I have written six things, six print statements. What will each of them give? The first one, 50 is equal to 100? No, 50 is not equal to 100. So the first one will return me a boolean value of false. Now, if you go to the second line, which is there, print of a less than b. If you see a less than b, a is 50, b is 100. Yes. A less than b. Yes. So it will give me true. Similarly, if you go down, a is greater than or equal to b. We have just discussed a is already less than b. So a greater than or equal to b, a greater than b will obviously give me a false. Next, a greater than or equal to b. Again, we discussed this just now. A is not greater than b. So a greater than or equal to b will also return me false. So A is less than or equal to B. So this will give a true value because A is less than B. At least one condition is satisfied. Next, A is not equal to B. So this one will give me true because 50 is not equal to 100. Let's try running this. See, as we discussed, first one is false, second one is true, the other two are false, and the last two are true, just as we discussed. Now we have covered two types of operators. One is arithmetic operators, the other one is relational or comparison operators. Similarly, let's just switch to the next operators, that are logical operators. So you guys have read about logical gates like and, or, and not, right? Maybe in your intermediate or in any of the electrical subject. So here also we are you going to use and, or, and not. So these are not gates here, but these will act as conditions. What type of conditions it will do? I will say, if you are having an and condition, so if you can see here, if you are having an and condition, and these things now they will operate on boolean values. Okay, so if I say boolean, or you may have a relational operator also, because if you see in the example, these two are relational operators. These two will return the first one, 5 is greater than 3, this will return a true. And if you see the second one, 10 is greater than 5, that will also return a true. And then and operator is applied on this true and true, ultimately you are getting it as true. And operator, you have to remember one thing: if both the things, both the operands are true, then the and will be true. If one of the operand is true and one of the operand is false, and you are applying an or gate, then still it will return a true. And if you are talking about the not gate, you have to remember it very well, because this will be asked as an interview question. Why? Generally, operations are performed on two operands, right? You need two numbers to perform operations, or you need two values basically. But this not operation is performed only on one thing. It is only performed on one operand or one value. So they will be asking you what is that operand or what is that operation that is performed only on one operand. So that time you will be telling it as not gate, sorry, not. So it exactly works like a not gate. If you're giving true as input, it will give you false. If you're giving false as input, it will give you true. So let's see here. Let's take A equal to true and B equal to false. Okay. And if I am giving A and B, if you are seeing here, we know A equal to true and B equal to false. We discussed one most important point, that if I am applying AND gate and both the operands are true, then only my output will be true. In any other case, the output would be false. So you have to understand that A is true, very good. B is not true, B is false. So you can blindly, assume that the answer is false. Yes, the answer will be false. For AND gate, if you are applying AND gate on any two operands, the both of the values, the both of the operands has to be true. Otherwise, it will be false. Otherwise, the output will be false. If you are having one true value and one false value, and you're applying an AND gate, the output would be false. The AND operator, the OR operator, the NOT operator, they work similar to that of our AND gate, OR gate, and NOT gate. Same conditions apply here. There you are calling it as gate, here we are calling it as operator. So all of these are logical operators. So the next one, that is OR. If you see A as true and B is as false, if you are applying OR gate, if you see here in the line, if you are applying A or B, A is true, B is false. For OR gate, at least one of them should be true for us to get the answer as true. Now A is true, so our answer will be true irrespective of B. Next, if you see the last one, that is the not gate. I mean, sorry, I am getting it as gate after being telling so much. The not operator, so not A. So if you are giving not A, that will become not of true. What is not of true? That is false, right? If you are giving not of B, here you will be getting as true. Okay, the next comes the most important operators. These are, like, you will be asked in interview for sure. These are the, like, the most important things. And mostly, if you have written any other interview questions, you would be asked about the left shift and the right shift operators here in the bitwise operators. Okay, so these two are, at least one question will be asked either in your first round or in your last round, that is for sure. Okay, these bitwise operators, generally whatever operators still we have learned till now, those operators are performed on values. Like you are performing operations on 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. But in this bitwise operators, what will happen is we are not going to perform the operation on values. We are going to perform the operation on the binary values of those values. So if you see, if I am going to so this is known as the bitwise AND operator. So if I want to, perform this bitwise AND on any two numbers, let's say 5 and 3. Okay, if you say, if you want to perform bitwise AND on 5 and 3, first step which I will do is writing the 5 in its binary format. Next, next thing, writing 3 in its binary format. If you are writing 5 in binary format and 3 in binary format, now you do the AND operation. How do you do the AND operation? See, 1 and 1 would obviously give me 1. 0 and 1, that would give me, 1 and 1 would be 1. 0 and 1 would give me 0, 0 and 1 would again give me 0, and 0 and 1 would again give me 0. Did we get this 0 0 0 1? So if you are getting this as 0 0 0 1 and answer we are getting in binary value, right? Again we have to convert that binary value to normal value. So 0 0 0 1 is nothing but 1. So a and bitwise and would give me answer as 1. Similarly, bitwise or, if you see, this is the symbol for bitwise or. So if you have, again, let's take 5 and 3 only. 5 is written as 0101 in binary. 3 is written as 0011 in binary. If you have to do an or operation, you have to do between the bits of this. Let's start from here. 1 and 1 would obviously give me 1. Now this 0 and 1, for us in a and, at least one of them should be true for us to get the answer as true. Now one of them is true, so I will get it as 1 here. So yeah, we are getting 1 and 1, right? Next, 1 and 0, one of them is true, so we will write it as 1. Next, no, both of them are false here, that means zeros, so we will obviously get it as 0 here. So we got the answer as 0111. If you are going to convert it into normal for decimal format, so that is going to give you 7 as answer. Similarly, you have bitwise XOR operator also. If you are doing that, 5 power 3. So the same thing will happen. It is going to give you as, 6 as answer. Similarly, bitwise not. You are just going to, you have this 0101, right? If you are applying a not operator, so this 0 will become 1, this one will become 0, this 0 will become 1, and this one would become 0. Ultimately, you would be getting -6 as answer. Okay, because why are you having this minus sign? Very simple. uh, as you know, like the leftmost bit, if it is 0, then the number is positive. If the leftmost bit is represented with 1, then it will give you a negative answer. Similarly, left shift. So in left shift of bits, what will happen is, let's say 5 left shift 1. So what you are going to do in left shift and right shift is, if you are shifting the digits to left, you will add 1 0 in the beginning. If you are shifting your digits to right, you will add two zeros at the left side. Here you will add 1 0 at the right side. So that is how it works. So if you're doing 5 left shift of 1, you will be getting 10 as answer, and 5 right shift of 1, you'll be getting 2 as answer. If you want, you can, we can take two numbers and we can try it out how they work. The next one is assignment operators. Generally, if you see programmers, they use these, if you are good at writing code, you will not write, a is equal to a plus 3. I'll tell you how it works. um, yeah. So generally we are writing a equal to a plus 3. Now what if I say this is a, this can be written as a plus or equal to 3? Yes, this and the first statement which I have written, both are same. A equal to a plus 3 would give me the same answer as a plus or equal to 3. So these are known as assignment operators. Okay. So same, you can do it for all other operators possible. For example, if you take a equal to 5, and if I take a equal to a plus 5, print of a, and same thing if I say b equal to 5 and print of b plus or equal to 5. Okay, let's just wait. B plus or equal to 5, and now I will print b. See what I have done, I have taken both the values as same. I've taken a equal to a plus 5 and b plus or equal to 5. I will show you both of them will give me answers as 10 only. So a equal to a plus 5 is similar to a plus or equal to 5. So you see, you got 10 and 10 as answer, right? So both of them are similar. Similarly, we can do for minus also. B minus or equal to 5, print of b. If you run this, my answer for b would be 5. Why? 5 minus 5, I mean 10 minus 5 I'm doing. So b minus or equal to 5 would be equal to b minus 5. Similarly, if I go ahead, there are other things also. There are minus, see, there is subtract and assign, and there is multiply and assign. Multiply and assign a into equal to 3, that is a equal to a into 3. Similarly, if you go to division, a by equal to 2, that is equal to a equal to a by 2, you know. And then floor, so whatever assignments, whatever arithmetic operators we have learned, if we are going to add an equal to symbol after that assignment operator, arithmetic operator, sorry, so this plus and I'm adding an equal symbol, minus and I'm adding an equal symbol, multiplication and I'm adding a equal symbol. So all of these would become assignment operators. And also I have discussed about equal to symbol earlier also. If you are giving double equal to, that time it will compare two values. If you are giving only one single equal to, that time it will assign value. It will assign a equal to 5. It will not compare a is equal to 5 or not. If you are giving one more equal to symbol, that time it will compare a equal to 5. The next are the identity operators. So these are used in Python, where um, very simple. They are used to compare two memory, or I mean they are used to compare memory location of two objects. So there are only two identity operators. One is, second is not. The first one is nothing but it will return true. When it will return true, if both the variables reference the same object, like if a equal to b, then it will return true. Now, if both the operators does not reference the same object, then it will give false, right? Then if you are using is not to true, that time it will give you true as answer. I know it's a bit confusing, but I will try explaining it. So firstly, let's take a equal to 1 2 3. Okay, now b is equal to a I am taking. So I am assigning whatever values are in a to b, right? What is happening is here a is equal to 1 2 and 3, you have a list here. Similarly, now when I'm assigning all of the values of a to b, now b will contain this list. If you are printing b, you will get answer as 1 2 3. Now there is, let's say there is c also, and c also has the same list 1 2 3. Okay, now you have to understand one thing. We are referencing the A object to B. So here, if we try printing, print A is B, it will give me true because we are referencing the A object to B. Okay, next, you might say, no, A is C should also be true. No, A has a different memory location. That memory location we are referencing to B. That is why A is B is giving me true. But if I'm having C equal to 1 2 3, which is same as A equal to 1 2 3, if I say A is C, then it will give me false because they are not of the similar memory or same memory reference. Instead, if I write C is equal to A, okay, then that time my this statement would be true. But now C is a different memory location, A is also a different memory location. So if you are applying this is operation, what does is operation do? It will only return true if both variables have reference the same memory object. So A and C are different. So obviously it will give me false. But if you take B case, you are referencing the memory object A to that of B. Okay, so that time A is B. This statement will return A equal to C. It will give me true. Why it will give me true? A is having 1, 2, 3, and C is also having 1, 2, 3. So both the values are same. See, the values are same here, but the memory locations which they are pointing are not same. A is stored in a separate memory location, C is stored in a separate memory location, but the values stored in A and C are same. So if I am trying to give the output as print of A equal to C, that time it will give me true. But if I am trying to give is A is C, I am asking whether A is C, no, that is not right. Both are pointing to different memory locations, so it will give me false. But again, I have assigned B to A. I am referencing the memory location of A to B. So if I am asking A is B, then my machine will tell me yes, it is true, they are pointing to the same memory location. Last operations are membership operations. So membership, you can understand from the name only what does membership mean. Membership is like, let's say I'm having a yoga membership. So if someone comes and says, are you in yoga membership? Yes, I am. If they ask my brother, no, he's not in, so he's not in that yoga membership. I am in certain class, my brother is not in my class. So we are searching within the list of the sequence. We are searching within the list of the yoga members, we are searching within the list of the class, we are searching within the sequence of the class whether I am present in that or not. So two operators would most play a role, so that is in and not in. It's very simple. They will also be returning the boolean values only. In, what does it do? Let's say there is a fruit basket. If apple is in the basket, it will return me true. If I am using the operator not in, if apple not in the basket, then it will return me true. If apple is in the basket but I am using not in operator, then it will return me false. If there is no orange in the fruit basket, let's say, and I am using for any orange in the basket, so orange is obviously not there, so it has to return me false. So let us take a list. There's a list of numbers, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. There are like 4 numbers in the list. Okay, i will ask I will ask the list that whether 3 in the list. What am I asking? 3 in list. If 3 is in the list, obviously 3 is in the list, so what would be my output? True. Similarly, if I ask the list, is 100 in your list? Now then it will not give me true. It will give me false as answer. Next, um, now the same question I will ask in reverse manner. Is 5 not in the list? I am saying 5 is not in the list. See, the not in is the main thing here. It is not in the list. That is true, no? So that will return true. If I ask the list, is 100 not in the list? That time also it will return me true. If I say 1 not in the list, but 1 is there in the list, so that time this will not return me true. It will simply return me false. So till now we have discussed about all of the operators in Python, starting with the arithmetic operators, next the relational operators, logical operators, bitwise operators, assignment operators, identity operators, and membership operators. So we have covered all of the operators in this video, and I hope you all like the video. Please do like, share, subscribe, and please do comment for more videos. We are looking for idea and content from you people. Like, you, if you are interested in any other subjects or you want videos from such type of content from us, please do mention in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. See you all guys in the next video.